If you're thinking about moving to Dallas, chances are Frisco is already on your radar. You're going to find it north of downtown, straight up the Dallas North Tollway at around a 35-minute commute. Now, Frisco is popular for a reason. The schools here are some of the best in the area. And when it comes to luxury new construction, all right, Frisco's solid. Homes over $1 million are holding strong with prices up 1.9% year over year. Well, in this video, I am pulling back the curtain on Frisco's luxury builders. We're talking about our builders that are currently selling homes over $1 million, and I'm going to take them and I'm going to rank them from best to worst. Now, something I want you to think about as we do that is that these builders are really going to fall into two groups, okay? First, we have our builders who cover a wide price range. All right, maybe starting like around $300,000 and then like pushing into the luxury space. You know, they're like, hey, Frisco's an affluent community. How about let's build some bigger homes there? So for them, building at the luxury level is the exception rather than the rule. Then there are the builders who only do luxury. They live it, they know it, and they do it well. Part of my reason for making this video is helping you draw that distinction. All right, do you want an every once in a while luxury builder or a luxury is all we do builder? Because here's the thing, that difference matters. With a $400,000 home, things can go wrong, but the risks are smaller. Then in the luxury space, the homes are bigger and the stakes are way higher. This is the home you've worked hard and saved for, and you want to go in informed. So what I want to do is walk through our luxury builders here in Frisco, show you where they're building, and then dig into things like how sophisticated is their customization and design? What can you expect with their warranties? And then I want to really explore their backing and what others are saying about them. Like what kind of Google reviews are we seeing? Do we have satisfied home buyers? Okay, well, let's get started with Huntington Homes, which means we're going to be looking at Frisco Fields. Now, Fields is one of the area's most talked about luxury communities. So you are in a solid location if you like what you see with Huntington. You're going to be hugging the northwest corner of Frisco at around 5 minutes from the Dallas North Tollway, and you're not too far from 380 either. If you're shopping for luxury builders in Dallas, this is definitely one to keep in mind. Luxury is what they do, and their homes are stunning. Now, if the name doesn't ring a bell, okay, think of Huntington as the luxury division of Highland Homes. Now, Huntington's only currently building at 2 communities in the entire DFW area. One is in Salina, and then one, again, is at Fields in Frisco. Now, most of the Frisco lots are going to be 60 by 120, but there are a few oversized options available. So what can you expect with a Huntington home? Well, when it comes to their design, Huntington's elevations change quite a bit depending on the community. At the Fields in Frisco, the style leans very much with what you would see with Highland Homes, okay? So steep roof pitches, clean lines. It's a sharp look, but okay, just my opinion here, doesn't exactly deliver the high-end feel that you would expect at this price point. In fact, compared to their Salina community, the Fields honestly feels a little bit less than true luxury. Step inside though, and different story, okay? Huntington absolutely delivers. You're gonna see striking details like beamed ceilings, black framed windows, and decorative wood paneling. Some floor plans even feature a statement stove vent that backs up to a full wall of windows. Expect to see prep kitchens, trade ceilings, ensuite bedrooms, and a lot of outdoor living options. Like many homes incorporate courtyards and dedicated dining areas outside. If you were going to build with Huntington and you wanted to know how customizable they were, well, that's where Huntington gets a little more complicated. All right, on paper, their website provides a decent amount of information on their floor plans, but honestly, it's a bit sparse. I mean, plus starting completely from scratch isn't on the table. And so you can't do nearly as much as you can, for example, with Grand Homes. How much flexibility you get also depends heavily on the community, and at Fields, there's just not a lot of room to move walls or adjust layouts beyond things like sliding glass doors or adding a fireplace. That's not entirely on Huntington though. Like I said, we're going to see this with Britain too. The developer at the Fields in Frisco definitely places some pretty strict limitations. When you walk through a Huntington home, their design selections are extensive. Plus, during the build process, buyers are given the ability to really tailor the finishes and style of their home. Huntington has built out a design program that feels luxury level, but honestly, okay, I'm going to tell you this, their online resources are definitely lacking, okay? The impression I have with Huntington is that Highland, the parent company, just hasn't put that much into building up their online resources. So don't expect an inspiration gallery or anything like that, okay? Still, the potential is there because these homes are gorgeous. Taken together, I would give Huntington in Frisco a B+ for what they've done with customization and design. The exterior elevations of their homes in Fields, they're nice, but they're not what I would call all out luxurious, okay? But then again, the insides, these are breathtaking. They're among the best of what we're gonna see. Plus, I would like to see a lot more offered online. Let's talk for just a minute about the warranty, okay? What can you expect there? Well, Huntington offers the standard 1-10 warranty serviced by Highland Homes. Now, I always like it when a warranty is serviced by the actual builder, and you do get that here. Now, this is not the best warranty out there, okay? We're gonna see better, but it's still decent, and I like that Highland services it themselves. So for warranties, I would give them an A. Now, I mentioned we like seeing a builder service their own warranty, and we do, but then it becomes even more important that they have deep pockets, okay? We wanna know that they're gonna stick around to service that warranty. Well, with Huntington all on its own, I would not feel confident at all, okay? They only build in Texas, and financially, they're stable, but they are really small. So, like if I had to grade them all on their, all by themselves, I would see like a C+. But once you factor in their parent company, okay, which is Highland Homes, the picture changes, okay? Now, Highland is still Texas-based, but it's a lot larger with deeper resources. The reliability of your warranty improves significantly with Highland behind them. So then I would move the grade up to like a solid A. All right, let's talk about Google reviews, okay? Well, Huntington at Fields in Frisco only has 7 reviews, averaging out to 4 stars overall. So it's hard to draw strong conclusions about customer satisfaction from just 7 reviews, but the trend is still worth noting, okay? 5 of those reviews are 5 stars. Not a large enough sample to be definitive, but it does suggest that most buyers who took the time to leave feedback had a positive experience. So I would give them an A- here. And now at the end of the day, when I take it all into account on balance, okay, I would give Huntington an A, which is going to put them in 2nd place. Next up, let's talk about First Texas Homes. Now, First Texas is not a builder that we would traditionally consider as a luxury builder, okay? This is more of our once in a while luxury builder. On the MLS right now, they have homes listed starting in the 320s. Of their 287 homes currently listed, only 6 are listed at over $1 million. So the luxury level is not where they focus. In Frisco, they build in both villages of Creekwood and the Collinsbrook Farm, but only in Collinsbrook are they building in our upper tier of luxury homes. You're gonna find Collinsbrook Farm also on the north end of Frisco, but closer to the east side, around 8 to 10 minutes from the tollway. So picture if you're commuting to downtown, okay? 10 minutes of your commute is going to be just getting to the tollway. So, you got to keep that in mind. So now that you know where they're building, all right, let's talk a little bit about First Texas Homes. The lot sizes look to be starting in the 50s and moving up to the 60s, 70s, 80s, and then even some oversized corner lots. Something to know about First Texas is that they have some seriously versatile elevations. That is my favorite thing about them. They mix stone, trim, and brick in a way that just really presents well. They have oversized modern front doors, soft arches, rustic wood trim, and they give you options like J-swing layouts along with both 2 and 3 car garages. So the design choices really bring character to each home. Then inside, you're gonna see decorative trim work, curved staircases, and plenty of small details that add a real sense of luxury. Then on top of that, they allow a lot more customization than many of their competitors, so they easily earn an A+ in my book. Their warranties are not quite as impressive though. They use structure home warranty, which means they don't service it themselves, and it's your basic 1 to 10 coverage. I mean, this is not the worst out there by any means, but it's definitely not the best either. So for warranties, I'm giving them a B. Now let's talk about First Texas Homes financial stability. Okay, so how deep are their pockets if something goes wrong? Well, they have a long history in DFW with more than 25 years of building experience. They are limited to the DFW area though, and I think you have to take that into consideration. So overall, in terms of how deep those pockets are, like how much can I trust this builder, I would give them a B for financial backing. When it comes to Google reviews, let's talk about that. First Texas ratings are a mixed bag. Collinsbrook Farm has 70 Google reviews, and I love that. I love how many there are for just a solid sample size. About 60% of those are 5 stars, and then 20% are 1 star, and the rest fall in the middle. So the majority look good, but 60% isn't great. And to give out a 1-star review, okay, something had to have been seriously bad. So that's concerning to see that many 1-star reviews. So for reviews overall, I give them a B-. At the end of the day, I would give First Texas a B+ for what they specifically have going on in Frisco, and that's gonna put them in 5th place, okay? Their strength here is definitely in their stunning design and elevations. Moving on, we also have Grand Homes building in Frisco. Now, this is one of our luxury builders. All they build is luxury, and they know luxury well, okay? You're gonna find them in Silverleaf Estates on the lower west corner of Frisco, along Louisville Lake. It's going to take you a good 8 to 10 minutes to get to the Dallas North Tollway if you're commuting. So again, you want to keep that in mind. Now here's what you need to know about Silverleaf Estates by Grand Homes. Okay, they're working with lot sizes of 60, 70, and even 80 feet wide. And it's nice having those larger lots because it gives more flexibility in design, which is something Grand offers a lot of. Speaking of flexibility in design, Grand Homes makes a big first impression. Their elevations are anything but plain, ranging from castle-inspired facades with spires and steep roof lines to Mediterranean designs with stucco finishes. They layer in lots of architectural details like individual roof elements over porches and windows, creative trim work, and asymmetry that gives their homes a really distinctive look. So when it comes to curb appeal, okay, I said that I like First Texas, but Grand is still better than that. And then, you walk inside, okay, and you're almost always gonna see soaring vaulted ceilings that flow through the living, kitchen, and dining areas, along with sweeping curved staircases, walls of windows, and tons of natural light. These are signature Grand Homes features. But there is a trade-off, okay, I should mention. Nearly everything they build is going to be 2-story. Like out of 97 floor plans, only 5 are single story, and those are all going to be like on their smaller side. So if you're set on a luxury 1-story home, honestly, Grand Homes is probably not going to be the fit for you. Where Grand really shines is in customization. They allow more structural flexibility than most production builders. So want to tailor design that 2nd story? Okay, no problem. Move walls around, reconfigure spaces. They can do all that. You'll still need to start with one of their base plans, like they don't create truly custom homes from scratch, but they do have architects and you can come darn close to reinventing that wheel. Compared to the luxury builders we're talking about in this video, Grand offers some of the broadest structural changes you can make. Of course, all that flexibility comes at a price, okay? Expect to pay for every add-on and upgrade right down to the details, okay? Grand has a reputation for nickel and diming, but the trade-off is that you get the home exactly how you want it. They also have a 5,000 square foot design studio. That is a big help in the process. It gives you the chance to see and touch all those finishes before you actually make decisions. decisions. So no surprise here, I rank Grand's design and customization at an A+. Grand's warranty is a little more on the average side, okay? It's a 1-2-10 model, just like we saw with First Texas, and they outsource it just like First Texas does. So I'm telling you, it is always better to see in-house warranties because you avoid the whole very frustrating, very ugly, well, that's a builder defect, so we don't cover it, okay? When your builder is the exact same one covering the warranty, you're not going to hear that, okay? So ultimately, I would give them a B here. Now, when it comes to their financial stability, okay, Grand's financials are harder to pin down, all right? They're privately owned and they don't publish annual sales. What we do know is they've been building in DFW since 1986, so nearly 40 years, and they're one of the better known luxury builders locally. They also have communities across most of the metro. With our hard data, okay, it's tough to rank them higher, but based on what we can see, all right, I give them a B for financial stability. Now let's take a look at Google reviews. All right, Silverleaf Estates averages 4.2 stars. Now that's not the best, but it's not the worst either. Most of them are 5-star reviews, but out of 20 reviews, there are 3 1-stars, 3 4-stars, and 1 3-star. So that means 35% are on the low side, which is not great. All right, so for customer satisfaction through our Google reviews, I give them a B-. Pulling all of that together for their performance in Frisco, I would give Grand Homes a B+, which is going to put them in 3rd place. Moving on, let's talk about Britton Homes, where we're going to be headed back to the fields in Frisco. You're on that northwest corner again, and just a 5-minute trek to the tollway. Now, if you haven't heard of Britton Homes before, okay, they are the luxury version of Perry Homes, owned by the same company. This again is a luxury only home builder where all they do is luxury. Like I mentioned, they're only in fields and you're gonna find them on 50 and 60-foot lots here, so this is not an oversized acreage situation. So with Britton, expect a standard suburban lot in an upscale neighborhood. They're building both inventory and custom builds, and there is a lot to like with either. Fields is really restrictive on their architectural standards, and Britton does a great job offering a variety of choices within those limitations. If you're looking at new builds, okay, Britton is worth checking out. Like you would with any builder, right? You're gonna pick a floor plan, choose structural options, and then add your design features. But Britton really stands out for variety. They mix modern and sloped roof lines, and one of their signature looks places a single-car garage on one side with a 2-car or J-swing on the other. They also offer more 1-story luxury homes than most builders. And remember, that is not what we're seeing with Grand. Inside, you're going to see beamed ceilings, decorative lighting, waterfall islands, and spa-like baths with dual entry showers. Many floor plans include ensuite bedrooms downstairs and even private studies off the master. Now, structural choices are not unlimited, okay, but you're still going to find media rooms, sliding doors, fireplaces, and extra bedrooms. The design process is a big plus. You get 6 hours of complimentary design service along with sessions on home automation and lighting. At the Design Center, you will work one-on-one to select everything from flooring and cabinetry to fixtures and hardware. Their online resources are also very built out, like their home gallery is packed with inspiration. And remember, that's what was missing with Huntington. Customization might be limited, okay, but their design features shine. So for that, I give Britton an A. When it comes to warranties, Britton is one of the best, if not the best, in the business, okay? They provide a 2-10 warranty, which is a full year longer than what most other builders offer. They also service the warranty themselves, okay? And that is a huge plus. So if warranty strength is high on your priority list, okay, Britton easily earns an A+. Financially, Britton is backed by Perry Homes, okay, which is their parent company, and Britton has been around for about 10 years. But Perry has operated for decades with strong financial stability. Britton builds only in Texas, and their annual sales are not huge, but Perry's backing gives them deep pockets, and that support adds a layer of security. I mean, you're not only buying from a smaller luxury brand, okay? You're buying from a division of a larger, well-established company. So for financial stability, okay, Britton earns an A. In the realm of our all-out luxury-only builders, we're gonna see it's only Britton and Huntington that have the deepest pockets, because even though they're like still super elite, they're owned by strong parent companies. Let's take another look now at Google reviews. Now, Britton Field's reviews are split between the 50 and the 60-foot lots, okay? The 50-foot has 7 reviews, 6 are 5 stars, and 1 is 4 stars. Now, most of those are really recent. They came in within the past year. Then the 60-foot has 6 reviews, all of which are 5 stars, and then almost all of those posted in the last 3 months. So there aren't many reviews, but the ones that they have are really strong. So for reviews, Britton earns a solid A. Overall, Landon Homes in Fields, Frisco offers strong design, reliable warranty coverage, and the stability of a big parent company. They don't give you unlimited customization, and the reviews are limited, but overall, I would give them a high A, which is going to put them in first place. Next up, let's talk about Chesmar Homes. Now, Chesmar is active across the Dallas area with about 19 different communities, but in Frisco, their focus is on the Grove. Now, the Grove is also the only place Chesmar's building a luxury product, so this is like what we saw with First Texas, where we are looking at a once-in-a-while luxury builder. Chesmar sells homes starting under $300,000, so luxury is definitely not their focus. Now, in terms of where they're building, the Grove is fairly large, covering roughly 735 acres, and you'll find both 50 and 65-foot lots there. We're going to be on the east side of Frisco with the Grove, around 10 minutes from Sam Rayburn, but closer to 15 if you want to take the Dallas North Tollway. Now, Chesmar keeps things pretty consistent design-wise. Across their 19 Dallas area communities, they offer 167 floor plans. So that sounds like a pretty big number, but the actual design variety is not as broad as you would think. Like, most of their elevations share a similar look with only small differences between them. So at the Grove in Frisco, that's gonna mean the overall streetscape isn't gonna feel as diverse as some of our other luxury builders. Customization is where Chesmar adds some real value though. Each floor plan comes with a PDF that lays out optional features and additions. Buyers can make practical changes like converting a study or media room into an extra bedroom with its own bathroom. They can also add upgrades like a prep kitchen, a wine room, a powder bath, or even a wet bar. So I like all of their options for personalization, but their elevations really do not stand up to luxury standards for me. So I would give them a B+ here. Now, when it comes to their warranty, fairly standard again, offering a 1-10 home buyer's warranty. They use a combination of their own customer service team and an outsourced third-party company. So I would give them a B here. Now for the big question, is that warranty worth counting on? Okay, well, Chesmar Homes was founded in 2005. And they build in several regions across the state of Texas. So their annual sales place them in the mid to high range compared to other production builders. So they might not have a multi-state footprint, but their sales volume and their years in business definitely show solid stability. So I would say they earn a B+ for financial backing. As for customer satisfaction, the number of reviews for Chesmar at the Grove is too limited, really, to draw firm conclusions. The 50 section of the community only has 1 review, okay? It's a 5-star review. And then the 65s section, it only has 4 reviews. So we've got, with that, 3 5 stars and 1 4-star. So the plus side is that all of those reviews are super recent, like some of them just a couple weeks ago. So not a whole lot to go on, but what is there is decently good. So I would give an A- for Chesmar's reviews, which overall, all things considered okay, is going to give them a B, which puts them in 6th place. Now let's dive into John R. Landon Homes, and we're going to find here an all-out luxury builder, okay? They're currently building at 2 different communities in Frisco, Lexington, and Fields. So again, we've seen Fields on that northwest corner, but if you want to consider Lexington, it's going to be on the east side. All right, you're going to have around a 12-minute trek to either Dallas North Tollway or Sam Rayburn. So from that standpoint, okay, not ideal. At Fields, you can find Landon within their Brookside North section, as well as their very exclusive and elite Preserve. So right off the bat, you have more options with Landon in Frisco than your other builders. Looking at Lexington, you've got a ton of lot size options also. Starting with much smaller lots, you've got like 37 foot, 41 foot, moving on to like mid and even larger size lots that are going to feel a little bit more luxury, 55, 64, 74. The website also states that some oversized lots are available. And at Fields, they're not hurting for lot size options either, okay? Buyers can choose from 50s, 60s, and 70s. Let's talk about their design and customization options though. When it comes to design, Landon definitely stacks up, okay? There are 33 different floor plans between the 2 communities. They don't have nearly as many big picture as Chesmar had, for example, but the elevations from both communities are all about luxury, okay? So Lexington's looks, expect to see upscale, polished, and modern classics. So, think clean lines, trimmed edges, and often elements like wrought iron. Elevations are going to show a consistency in style, but they still offer variation in the way like the roof lines are shaped and how the windows are grouped, and in detailing like front entry arches or stone accents. At Fields, the elevations vary a little bit more, but tend toward a mix of traditional with a little bit of touch of Mediterranean. Picture large stucco facades with some brick, dramatic roof lines, and multiple roof pitches. Many homes have oversized, large-scale windows and ornate trim. Then take a look inside, and the luxury continues, okay? You are gonna find high ceilings, formal entryways, and just massive open gathering spaces. The customization options aren't quite as spectacular. Each floor plan highlights the available customization choices, but beyond the elevations, there aren't many options to work with. So it's not a super well developed design process, but so much elegance and luxury. So overall, I would give Landon an A- here. Landon offers a 1-to-10 warranty backed by structure. So again, this is pretty standard for the industry, but it's outsourced and nothing outstanding about it. So I would give them a B here. Now, when it comes to evaluating Landon Homes in terms of size and credibility, their operations are pretty limited. They've been building in the Dallas-Fort Worth area since 2008. They're currently only in a few communities around DFW. I couldn't find their annual sales figures published online anywhere, and they're an upscale builder. So their revenue is probably steady, but not expansive. So for that reason, I would give Landon a B- when it comes to, those deep pockets and financial stability. And I'm not saying they're about to go bankrupt or anything like that. There's just a lot you don't know. When it comes to Landon Homes at Fields, they only have 7 Google reviews, and you have a split between 5-star and 1-star reviews. Now, all 3 of the 1-star reviews, okay, and this is interesting, they're all about the same sales consultant. So it's possible you could still have a great experience if you worked with someone else, okay? So keep that in mind. At Lexington, the smaller lots have 30 reviews and the larger lots have 36 reviews, and they're both pretty similar. A little over half are 5 stars and the rest are at 4 stars and below. So they earn a B+ here, okay? And then overall, all things considered, okay, I would give them a B+, which is gonna put them in 4th place. Next on the list is Windsor Homes. Now they are building in 20 communities around Dallas, but we're gonna focus on the estates at Rock Hill in Frisco. Now, just like we saw with First Texas and Chesmar, this is a builder who does not operate exclusively at a luxury level. They have homes starting in like the $400,000 price range. You're gonna find estates at Rock Hill on the very far northwest corner of Frisco, where you're only 3 minutes from 380, so that's a good thing. They're offering fairly large home sites of 60 and 70 foot. Now, Windsor's elevations at estates at Rock Hill lean toward like a polished modern farmhouse and traditional styles. You'll see a lot of brick in the facades, often paired with like board and batten or farmhouse windows, so not a hugely luxurious feel. They have an average of about 10 floor plans per community, so there's a decent variety in layout and size, but they do all follow a similar style. So you definitely won't find the same variety in design here as you would with like Landon Homes. Each floor plan has options for additions or room switches, which is good. For example, like converting a dining room into a study or bedroom, like adding a third or fourth car garage, or extending a covered patio. Don't expect to get full structural redesigns, okay? But the adjustments still let buyers personalize their space somewhat. So all in all, the customization is good for the level of production building that Windsor offers, so I would give them an A-. When it comes to warranties, again, it's pretty basic. They offer your standard 1 to 10 warranty, which is going to be outsourced to a third-party provider. So because of that, again, pretty basic, I would give them a B for their warranty. Now, according to their website, Windsor Homes has been around for 39 years, so that's a long time. Definitely gives you the impression of a large, stable company. But in all that time, they haven't expanded any further than DFW. No annual sales data is available online to measure their scale against larger builders, so we can't really say what their financial backing is like. Such a long track record, that does count for something though, so overall, I would give them a B- for financial stability. When it comes to reviews, the Estates at Rock Hill community only has 1 review so far, so not a whole lot to go on. So what I did was I expanded my search and found that of 11 total communities, 8 of those communities had 5.0 ratings and only 3 averaged below 4.5. So we have a low volume builder with Windsor Homes, and so many of these communities only had like a handful of reviews. So not as much information as I'd like to see for Google reviews, but for those I am seeing, it merits an A rating. But again, I'd feel a lot better about that rating with more reviews out there. Overall, at the end of the day, there's not really anything that makes them stand out. So I would give Windsor a rating of a B, which is actually going to put them in last place. Okay, now I have a bonus luxury builder that I want to tell you about, which is Alfred Homes. Now, they may not be the most well-known builder, okay, but their focus on luxury is very clear. Alfred only builds in affluent areas like University Park, Highland Park, and Preston Hollow. In Frisco, they're building within the highly sought-after preserve segment of Fields, Frisco. Once again, we're on that northwest corner of Frisco, right? Lot sizes are going to vary a lot, and due to the custom nature of Alfred Homes, that information isn't readily available on their website. But you can expect to find some pretty large options, though. I would say think quarter or even half-acre plus home sites. When we think of customization, Alfred Homes takes it to the highest level. Everything is completely custom, starting from the floor plan itself. Their build-to-suit program allows buyers to collaborate directly with Alfred's architects, designers, and construction team to shape a home from the ground up. So that means you're not working within preset layouts or limited structural options. So here we have, this is as custom as it gets. If you're curious about design choices, they don't have stock floor plans. Instead, their website showcases only the homes they currently have available, and each one is distinct. So you can expect a lot of architectural diversity. These are large luxury residences. Like most are going to include, things like formal dining rooms and, exercise spaces. I tell you what, no 2 homes feel alike. Their online photo gallery highlights the variety, showing everything from traditional brick and stone exteriors to modern interiors, to Mediterranean estates. Now, I don't have an all-out rating for Alfred, okay, because they're so elite, but an A+ is clearly warranted here. Alfred builds fully custom homes, so their website doesn't provide the kind of standardized information that you're going to see with other builders. I mean, details like floor plans and warranty coverage aren't even listed, and we weren't even able to find any specifics on what their warranty program includes. If you haven't caught on to the theme with Alfred Homes yet, here it is, plain and simple, okay? They are a premier high-quality builder, but also a small one with a very specific clientele. And the question is, can a company this specialized and boutique, okay, weather a major market downturn? Okay, that's tough to predict, especially since there's no reliable data available to accurately gauge their financial back. So you have to think about things like if the president of the company unexpectedly died, like how much would that affect the company's ability to get your home finished? So the smaller the builder, okay, the more you have to consider things like that. You're probably not surprised to hear that Alfred at the Preserve doesn't have any reviews either. Alfred Homes as a whole does have 19 reviews though, almost all of which are 5 stars. Only 4 of those reviews are 1 star, and all 4 are from 5 years ago. Now, much like Alfred at the Preserve, I do want to touch on this for just a minute. The Preserve is an excellent example of some of Frisco's most elite luxury communities. And with that, you have a few familiar builders we've discussed here, such as Alfred, but you have at least 8 lesser known builders. And these are going to present as among the best of the best in luxury just by virtue of where they're building. But I really want to encourage you to exercise caution, okay? You want to ask yourself these same questions we've asked in this video. How sophisticated are their design and customization options? Like, how well staffed are they? You know, a super important question, how deep are their pockets? These are builders outside our typical production lineup, and you want to take that into consideration. I look for awards, but know that there's a good chance that their reputation may not precede them. I mean, maybe they build an amazing home, or maybe they don't. And if they don't, what is your recourse? Okay, so have that in mind as you're reviewing your options in places like the Preserve, okay? And just always keep this in mind, okay? An elegant model home is not enough. Luxury builders in Frisco absolutely know how to dazzle. And Frisco is a great place to put a luxury home. But I hope you're seeing behind the marble and molding, okay? Some of these numbers tell a different story. Now, if you want to branch out from Frisco and explore some other luxury areas in Dallas, I have a video where I covered every luxury area in the Metroplex, okay? You can check out that video right here. In the meantime, this is Wendy Pinnell, your Dallas Realtor, and I'll see you there.